give up, just for a moment. Not like someone who's losing, but like someone who finally dares to stop. You've spent your whole life pushing the world with your back, believing that if you slowed down for even a second, everything would collapse. Every morning was a battle before you even opened your eyes. Every night, a list of unfinished tasks chasing you into restless sleep. And maybe that's why you never noticed what actually moves you. Because constant motion isn't purpose. It's escape dressed up as productivity. The truth is, you don't let yourself feel. You just run. And you run so fast, you forgot to ask why. And where this need to win battles nobody asked you to fight even came from. Think about it. How many of these wars are actually yours? How many did you inherit from other people's expectations, from silent comparisons, from a world that taught you that stopping means failing? You became a prisoner of your own speed. The race became so automatic, you forgot there's a pause button. And worse, you started believing that button is dangerous, that stopping means losing ground, that taking a deep breath is a luxury you can't afford. But look where it got you. Exhausted, but you don't know from what. Achieving things, but you don't know why. Moving, but you don't know where to. Here's the hardest truth. You're scared of what you'll find if you stop. Because in the quiet, the masks fall. The excuses go silent, and you're face to face with what you've always avoided. Yourself. When you give up for a moment, the silence swallows you, and that silence is cruel. It shows you everything you avoided. It shows you that the weight you're carrying isn't strength. It's accumulated fear. Fear of disappointing people. Fear of being ordinary. Fear of discovering that maybe you're not as indispensable as you need to believe. This silence hurts because it's honest. It doesn't have an agenda. It doesn't flatter you. It doesn't distract you. It just exists and forces you to exist too, without filters, without narratives, without the armor you wear for the world. In the silence, you realize how many of your achievements were driven by emptiness, not fulfillment. How many times you said yes when you wanted to scream no. How many hours you wasted building a version of yourself that doesn't even represent you anymore. The silence reveals the brutal difference between who you became and who you were born to be. But here's the paradox. That same silence that scares you is what can save you. But in that same silence, something reveals itself. Something small, subtle, almost imperceptible, but real. That impulse that makes no noise. That desire you can't explain. That calling that shows up when the world finally stops screaming at you. It's like a voice that was always there, but got drowned out by the noise of the race. An intuition you ignored so many times, you almost forgot it existed. A desire so old and so pure, it doesn't even need external validation anymore. That's what still moves you. And maybe you've noticed something now. This impulse doesn't shout, it whispers. It doesn't compete for your attention, it waits. It waits for you to get tired enough of the chaos to finally listen. It's not ambition. It's not pride. It's not the desperate need to prove you deserve to exist. It's something purer, something you didn't create, something that was already there before the chaos started, before the demands, before the comparisons, before you learned to measure yourself by other people's eyes. This something is the essence you covered with layers of should, need to, and have to. It's the spark that made you draw as a kid, even without an audience. that made you daydream without asking permission, that moved you not out of fear, but out of pure curiosity. And that something only appears when you surrender for a moment, when you drop the sword, when you breathe without rushing, when you let your soul speak louder than your ego. Understand, surrender isn't defeat. It's emotional intelligence in its rawest form. It's the courage to admit you don't need to be invincible to be valuable, that you don't need to always be in control to be whole. Giving up for a moment doesn't make you weak. It makes you aware. Aware that half the battles you're fighting are against imaginary enemies. Aware that real strength isn't about never falling. It's about knowing when to sit down, breathe, and choose your battles wisely. Because when you stop, everything that doesn't belong to you falls away on its own. The expectations you carry like they are yours. The dreams that actually belong to someone else. The goals you chase just to fill a void they'll never be able to fill. All of it collapses. And at first, it feels terrifying because you built your identity on top of these things. You defined yourself by your ability to endure, to produce, to never stop. But when the dust settles, what's left is what was always yours. What nobody can take away, what doesn't depend on likes, approval, or recognition, what makes you yourself when nobody's watching. That's what remains. And that, my friend, is enough. It always was. So give up, just for today, just for a minute, just to remember you never needed to run to be whole. Try it. Sit down, not with the intention of meditating or being productive in your rest, because you even turned rest into a metric. Just sit and feel. Feel the weight of your body. Feel the air going in and out of your lungs. Feel that you're alive, not because you produced something today, but simply because you're here. In this moment, you don't need to be extraordinary. You don't need to have answers. You don't need to be strong. You can just be you. Tired, confused, imperfect, human. And it's in that raw humanity that your greatest strength lies. Because the world doesn't need more people running without direction. The world needs people who know how to stop, look inward, and ask, what really matters? What am I doing with the time I've been given? Am I living my life or performing the life people think I should have? Sometimes what moves you doesn't show up in the war. It shows up in the pause. In the pause, you rediscover that movement without purpose is just noise. That speed without direction is just disguised desperation. That conquering everything and losing yourself isn't victory. It's the quietest tragedy there is. So if you're exhausted from running, stop. If you're tired of carrying the world, put it down. If you're lost in the race, give it up. Just for a moment. Not because you're weak, but because you're brave enough to face the silence. Because you're strong enough to let yourself be vulnerable. Because you're wise enough to understand that the pause isn't the end. It's the beginning. And when you come back, and you will come back, you won't be the same person anymore. You'll be someone who learned the difference between movement and purpose, between doing and being, between winning and living. Because in the end, it's not about how many battles you won. It's about whether you remembered to live between them. Give up, just for a moment, and discover what really moves you.